Man, I always start off a video like that. Anyway, we need to stop that. Today, it's a not too crazy, not too wild day. I already did some work on this engine. Basically, I installed some pistons, as you can see. Well, you can't really tell, but let's go underneath here. You see, I only got like 2 in there, as you can see. So, with that being said, I'm here today working on installing all the pistons. Finally, you just don't understand. I've been waiting for so long just to go ahead and get these other pistons, because look at that. That looks so brand new. I don't even know the weight of this, but it's light. Got valve reliefs. Cool. I don't really care as long as this actually does what it needs to do, which it is going to do what it needs to do. I'm just happy that we have some new ones. The reason why we got new ones is because I actually broke the oil skirts on the old ones. And what I mean by that, as you can see here, that's pretty much broken. Like, compared to this side, you see how it's like round and nice, and yeah, it looks all good. That one's chipped off. There's no O-ring there. Yeah, and it's 2 of them. So that's what I've been dealing with. Why I have been waiting as well. And that just shows you, like, you just have to be patient, persistent, and just make sure you take care of things. Be very gentle. You can be kind of rough, but mainly it's all about being gentle for just to get a feel of the motor and stuff like that. And on those, the first one, the tool was garbage. I'll be honest. It kept making the O-rings pop out. And basically that's how it broke the side skirt. I mean, not the side skirt, the oil, whatever it's called, the oil, the oil ring land. There we go. That's why I broke the oil ring land, because it was too much pressure, and the oil ring itself like cocked. And when you have something cocked and you keep putting pressure on it, it goes up, goes up, goes up, and then finally breaks. So that's how that happened. But now I have new pistons. I have the new rings too, which is great. I'm gonna measure those and stuff like that. But the thing is, I'm gonna give you the rundown on how I do my pistons, how I actually insert them, how I actually make a whole, what is this called? How I actually just install it completely, by just doing some simple stuff. Make sure that you're very gentle, really nice. This last one I just put in went in really smooth. So I believe it's also another thing of whatever rings and stuff like that you have, make sure you have somewhat of the right rings, or at least the right sizes, because if it has a bigger size, I believe you're going to get more resistance because of the spring action with it. So from there, I have new O-rings on that particular piston, and it slid right through. It was like butter. It was like, dang, I never experienced that. So from here, I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys how to actually install the pistons, how I lube it up, how I actually make sure that the rod caps are on the right piston, all kinds of things. So I hope you guys enjoy. That's just enough for my intro. We're gonna edit a lot of that stuff out, right? Yeah, so all right, here we go. Let me start now. See what I'm seeing as I deal with my hands. I need more gloves. So first things first, get some gloves. All right, and I'm gonna show you how to install the piston, how to install a piston, and then from there I'm just gonna show you me doing a time lapse of installing all of them, because it's gonna take a while. And of course, disclaimer, I've already measured these with plastic gauge. So plastic gauge, it looks like this. Comes in this kind of package, plastic gauge, and what it does, it measures the clearances for you. That's what it looks like. It's a little grain string, All right, anyway, that doesn't matter. It does matter, but the next one, that's 3. I need 5. This is number 5. This one right here. You see that dirt? Get that off. No matter what. Make sure you don't have any dirt or any particulates on your piston itself. Sorry, it is a little bit messy, but it gets a little messy as you're still working on the engine and stuff like that. Ooh, excuse me. Also, if you hear wind, apologize. I have this fan. It is pretty hot. So first things we're gonna do, we're gonna take off this new bearing right here because I don't want it to be scratched or anything like that. So I'm gonna wipe this down. All this is wiped down good enough. And from there, we're gonna turn the engine over. There we go. So 3, and I said I'm gonna do number 5. So this is number 5, this is number 1, and that is number 7. And the reason why it goes like that is because this is the first piston. You can tell it's the first piston just from this on this side. It has a space right here, and it's pushed back just a little bit. So that's how you know this is piston number 1. And let's see. My next objective here, get this automatic transmission fluid. I'm gonna pour a little bit on my hands. Hold on, actually, before I do that, let me wipe my hands off a little bit. Some people might be like, hey, you just wiped dirt off that piston with the what you call it? It doesn't matter. My hands are clean, basically. As clean as they're gonna be. I got cotton fibers on them. You pour a little bit of transmission fluid in your hand, just a little bit, not too much, and then you just rub it in there. Just rub it all on the cylinder wall. That helps lubricate the piston as soon as it goes down in there. And this is another way to actually help lubricate the piston as well, making sure that all of these are okay. They feel good. There's nothing crazy going on here. You always want to inspect everything that you're doing and that you have done. See, I don't want that one that way. Make sure that's good. All right, so we're good to go. Inspection is a-okay. I'm gonna pour some of this automatic transmission fluid in the holes, the galley holes here. And what's that is doing is just making sure that this is super lubed up. All the rings are lubed. They're nice and smooth. They feel good, and especially once I put them inside of the engine. So I have my Summit Racing 4-inch ring compressor here, compressor tool. This thing is amazing. Look, all you do is this. So I know my oil rings are good, so I just push the second ring in a little bit, and from the top view, kind of just, you have to play with it. As you can see, let me go in some light. You see the bottom ring right here is catching on it. Boom. I got from the top ring, now bam. All right, cool. See how it is? Smooth. It's all the way in there. And what this does, instead of having the compressor tool where you turn it, this has a solid foundation. Sorry if I'm moving this out of the way. This has a solid foundation where it's very big. The diameter is very big up here, but the diameter shrinks as it goes down further. So that's how that works. All right, and from here, make sure that you're pointing. Don't want to scratch cylinder walls. Try to lay that in there easily. Lay that all the way like that. Yep. Make sure this is flat. make sure that your dot, or however your piston faces, I mean, everybody's engine is different, but make sure that if you have a dot or some kind of indicator to where the piston needs to face towards the front, make sure that it's just face towards the front, and that's all it is. That's what that indicator is there for. As you can see on number 3 has it right there, and number 4 has the same thing. All of them have it on this particular engine. But hopefully I could just push this down. Oh, it's not going like I want it to. So from there, I'm just gonna get this mallet here, right here, and I'm gonna lightly tap this in. Nothing too crazy, just also want to make sure that this tool does not come up from the deck of the block, because if it does, that's when the O-rings will, or in any of the rings actually, will come out and it will break one of the ring lands, and you don't want to do that while you're smacking this, of course. So take your time, be gentle. You don't got to be too rough, but oops, you just tap it in. Oh. See what I mean? And that's why I do this, and I make sure that no rings have escaped from this tool, and I keep smacking, keep going. And it looks like we're almost there, just a hair more. Okay, there we go. And see, that's how that works. Once it's actually seated all the way in, we can put this back down, wipe this off real quick. And I like to make sure that I have my numbers on my pistons, so I can always know which piston's which. And from here, I'm just gonna tap it down just a little bit more. I feel stupid because I got some more dirt on it, but it'll be okay. It'll be all right, it's fine. So just tap that in. Oops. Also, don't want to have any like foreign material inside the combustion chamber. So if you get something inside of it, make sure you take it out. And then I heard this nice little clunk. I don't know if you heard it as I was talking. That tells me we're right there by the crank. And I was right. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So